The member for Timiskaming Cochrane.
Thank you, Speaker. Once again, it's a good thing to be able to get a couple minutes on the Bill 100 Trails Act, and to follow the member from Elgin, Middlesex, London. There's just a couple points I'd like to reemphasize. I've stood in this House I don't know how many times and said that, you know, it's great to make laws and legislation in this House, but we have to make sure it works out in the field. Well, and this is an example. The basis of good legislation is here. It's the duty of the government to actually work with the process to make this legislation actually work in the field. Because if this legislation doesn't work in the field, it's going to have the opposite effect. It's actually going to close trails in a lot of the parts of the province. And why that is because the typical stakeholder who comes to government and is going to call the ministry or going to call has a vested interest. But a lot of the stakeholders in the trail system have no vested interest. They're doing it out of the good of their heart. Most farmers have a trail going across their farm out of the good of their heart. And if they see a piece of legislation that has any type of risk that they don't understand, they're not going to call the ministry and talk about consultations. They're just not going to sign the current agreement. So they're going to stop trails across their farm because it's just not worth the risk. And that would be an incredible shame, because we have a good system. If this bill is done correctly, it could be help the trail system. But with the record of this government, how many amendments from the opposing side have ever passed here? None. And that's what we're so worried about, because if this bill passes the way it is, there's a good chance that some of those property owners are going to see what happens and say, look, my life isn't reflected in this bill, so OFSC, you know what, I'm just going to cancel the deal we have now because it's not worth the risk. And that's what we have to avoid here, Speaker. Thank you.